Regarding the lost South, land beyond the North Pole, it exists, as stated in certain highly specific literature, written by navigators. Technically speaking, it is perfectly fine for a flat earther to use the word global, as we are globally living inside a globe, which is not the same as on a sphere, which is also a little chubby around the waist, as Neil likes to refer to our round earth. He is giving hints to those initiated continually, mark my words. The word wizard, the spell-casting lizard, perfectly knows not to use the word sphere when regarding the earth. He very carefully uses premeditated, pre-recorded, scripted language, not lying, technically speaking, also not touching on reality. You will not ever catch him calling the earth a sphere. He knows words have power. He continually describes earth as round and chubby at the waist. He is literally describing a dome shape, while the flock, I mean audience, is led to believe he is actually referencing the spherical earth. This is a tactic, a veil they use, to cover over our eyes. Good night, and sleep well, my daydreaming globe-loving friends. Break the spell, and be free in your temple. Be free, be free. Nota bene, the entire concept of God was forced onto mankind using the book, and consequently language they taught, so we could read their words first. Language was used to program our moral compass regarding the gods of Eden, training us, while teaching us, children that we were, but childhood's end. Nota bene, technically speaking, we are all flat earthers, whether the ant realizes the fact or not. Man can think, use logic, and know if he so wishes. The ant I cannot blame. Nota bene, maybe I get to name it the Lost Larenzian Quarter, as I am the one who discovered it, technically speaking. Regarding my theory of everything, this entire system which is found all around, as well as inside of us, and that we even live inside of, is all relative to you and your understanding of it. I just discovered a new, lost quarter of the Earth's disk by using my mind. How was your day, sweetheart? One God, one love, one up. The sun does not go as quickly as it comes. It takes about 4 hours to come up and rise to your noon location, then takes 8 or more hours to leave your visual area again. If we lived on a sphere, the sun rising and setting should take up equal amount of my daytime, but we are standing somewhere in or out on the sideline, watching the sun orbit our heads, following its circuits, above our heads. We observe 1/3 of daytime the rise, and 2/3 its setting, if not 1/4 and 3/4 of the daytime. This cannot happen standing on a sphere. If the center of our disk is north, and we have people living east and west, then that leaves 2 different, separate, and opposite south locations. One where we know people live, and the backside of Earth's south, where they draw empty ocean. Interesting. Top view maps like the Gleason map are a great tool. If the map is drawn empty, I wonder why they took so much effort to hide a full quarter of the Earth's disk from man. Interesting. Wonder who they're hiding up there. Is that you, Jeffrey? Technically it would create 2 opposite south locations with north in the true center. Meaning if I continue my flight across the center north, I would arrive in the land beyond the pole. The hidden quarter we don't miss because we have an area designated south. You will never find anything in that south. No one noticed we are missing a quarter of the disk because of how our maps are made, and our belief in the shape of this place. Who else was made to believe the Earth was a sphere, and arrived somewhere he never expected to arrive? Columbus, right. If you sail towards the wrong south, you'll never find America. You will find, depending on what you believe the shape of the earth is, and how well your maps are. Columbus was not stupid, he was merely taught the earth was a sphere before his journey. The Western Sea Passage to the east does not actually exist. And just to make sure you do never find out, we now have Indians in both locations. Can't point to Indians on both opposing sides. Smart move, Satan. Well played. Whatever Columbus discovered was later named the West. It was named the West by people from Spain, as it was their West which the rest of the world then took over. The West location on our current map was created. A center north has no east or west, as it is relative to where you stand on the circle, and only north is always ever known. We know south because of north, we think, and we know east and west because of the steady north, and your steady relation to it. Polaris sure is a great central navigational tool. Gods only think in top view. The God's eye view only sees inner and outer ring. The poor surface dwellers need 4 directions in order to find their way on the disk's floor. One up and you can watch them all at the exact same time. We all share one dome, and they can keep an eye on it, day and night, from the day and night locations, looking across the plain, lying under the Lord's eye, touching the ground, in all 4 corners of the earth, at the ends of our beautiful life stimulation machine, Earth. One God, one love, one up. Wikipedia.org. Christopher Columbus. Lorentzian solar and lunar photovoltaic collector concept. Track the sun and the moon, as we know their locations at all time, change polarity of the circuits dynamically, between changing polarities observed in our nature. The collector charges differently during day than it does during night. Why are solar panels flat when our photon collecting eyes are half-dome shaped lens on top of a half-dome collecting light? We know a dome shape captures and focuses light. Solar panels are flat. Spheres or domes have much more usable surface area than a plane or panel. I'll try and come up with a solar capturing eyeliner device. We need the top dome to follow the sun, and the bottom of the light collecting dome to correspond with the current supply. During the day, I want the outside to be silver foil, and the inside plated with gold foil, to create 2 separate currents working together as one. During the day, silver outside will transport heat from the positive sun, quickly to the outside to the inside with the gold. During the night my light collector must change polarities. At night the solar energy captured in the gold will radiate outward, giving off its captured energy again. During night, the moon's negative pole light must fall on the outside positive gold, sensitive to lesser light, and transport to the inside, plated with silver foil, the cold, the negative pole. I'm trying to think of a way to invert the gold and silver sides automatically, switching polarity between day and night. If I had a pyramid capstone turn its face with the sun and its no direction from a null location, all day. The sun is on one side only, ever. It moves over the south, for us in the northern hemisphere, as does it in Egypt. This helps us know and define what the front side is facing the sun, and what the back side is, opposite its known front. If we know the sun is up, we know how to face the sun with the capstone. If the moon is up, we know what capstone pole we want to have the moon face. Capstone sun tracker for a scale model in a pyramid shape. My solar collector will have a top diffuse lens shape on top of a multi-plated dome shape collecting the diffuse light. I will place foil inside the cup, gold left and silver right, both inside the cup, and have the silver side opposite the sun, so it reflects onto the inner gold, the shadow side caused by the sun's direction. During night I turn the sensitive gold half inside the dome towards the moon, having the gold reflect the moonlight to the inner silver half, changing the polarity between day and night. Matching nature. K. Now to model it again, once the principle works on a larger scale using a glass dome, of course will I be able to scale down, using many lenses and their attached collectors, all following the light in the sky. Crystal dome growing shapes concept. To each other completing, 3D printable shapes functioning as one. If I place the top shape on the base shape, and filled it with the correct liquid glass crystal growing materials, I could sort of program and control the growth into the shape's DNA code. The crystal must harden out and follow its growth path given. Could be nice to grow lenses at a specifically chosen diameter, or chosen angle of incidence, the bending of the lens changing its properties. Adding purple coloring might create a UV blocking lens. I might be able to grow my drone ship's model hulls in this manner described. A known diameter of growth could also help me grow a crystal torus for my light drive, as well as the lenses. If I have two torus shapes, one a little bigger than the other, and slice them along their center horizon line, I can again grow two crystal torus halves, to be assembled as one on top the other, after I fit in the coils, and within them, holding them, the crystal grown lenses, allowing me to try and make them turn by octuple laser beams, in turn driving my wings. Maybe a clear epoxy might be quicker way to get the base shape. Electrogravitic angelic wingsuit concept. Work in progress, conceptual design, and block-out stages. LRNC in purple and gold electrogravitic wing design. The entire wing is a electrogravity circuit, but I used a circle for easier demonstration. The ion wind will be pulled along the wing shape, over the outer side down, and inside back up. The top to bottom part of the circuit is the circuit creating downward wind I desire. I want the ions to have a hard time going down. A longer down path is a longer surface equals more effect. I will use crumbled up gold foil, making the path down harder and longer still. Now once down, the circuit will go back up inside, where I don't want the upward wind. I will plate the inside with silver foil to make the path quick, smooth, short, and fast. Because a machine does not know what up or down is, I will have to make a male and female side, a positive and negative side, creating the need to complete the circle between both polarities. The top dome shape I would make if a purple crystal, grown in a dome shape with a hole in the top. The outside would all be plated with crumbled up gold foil, the inside would be plated with silver foil, and remain unseen, hence not mentioned in the concept's name. Purple and gold are seen from the outside only. I will need a central aluminum ring to act as the negative pole for the top male positive dome. I will also need a smaller bottom aluminum ring, to have the negative bottom, the female created for the male part on top. The lower dome shape will have its positive pole on top of its orientation, and its negative pole below the shape, teaching the wing what up and down is by designing it into its DNA. If you stretch out the perfect circle into a wider wing shape, we create more area for a charge to reside, more area for the charge to work and create the ion downward wind. Inside we don't want the upward ion wind, so we make the circuit followed easy, without resistance. Purple crystal will act as the insulating smooth shape, and can block UV light created by the ion wind, protecting a pilot against US radiation by using a purple solution during the creating of the crystal. More purple particles, less translucency, less visibility at night. The purple-gold electrogravitic inverted wing. Regarding new battery technology, assuming most of you understand how an average early battery works already, I will state my inventions, or adaptations between the old and now the new battery type, and how and why I think I can improve on the concept. Normal batteries have an electrolyte, a separator, the anode and a cathode, and a central volt pile consisting of 3 different plates with different functions. First thing I would do, I not use plates but rings, and then instead of rings, I would stack dome shapes, or cup shapes instead of rings. If I stack domes, foil, paper, copper, I would use silver, foil, and gold foil, plus their actual sulfates. Too expensive for reality, so I have to use their equivalents. The idea is using the cups over the plate or discs, because they have a much larger total surface area we can actually charge and hold there in the circuit, allowing us to store up more higher currents inside the same total battery space. Then I would use a cathode coil inside the container, around the glass outer wall downward, to the lower silver negative charged dome shape. From the bottom up I would place a smaller radius anode Tesla coil upwards, to a center magnet placed inside the border between the 2 sulfates. The magnet is a current motor, driving the circuit's direction, and refreshing the electrons, recycling the free electrons around in the electrolyte solution like a 6D free space motor, allowing for refreshing and continual motorized movement or circulation of the fluids inside, allowing the battery to keep the circuit going internally and fresh without adding a load, and thus without loss when not in actual use. We could plate each cup with gold foil under it, then it itself being plastic, and then covering the top of the dome with silver foil, or vice versa, depends on goal or use, creating the flow between them using a single lightweight shape in the center of the stack. Maybe make holes in the cup and fill them with a liquid metal, to allow the current to move up between cups. More plated cups can be stacked up higher as there is no risk of pushing out the center solid plastic layer shape. We can have many cups stored in higher, room scale, cylindrical home batteries. All I need to do is find out if the cups are orientated correctly. Maybe have 6 up or 6 down, or 3 up and 3 cups down, need to experiment. But the cups will allow for much more storage area, combined with the copper coil's outer rim downward and inner coils upward. A lot more energy can be packed inside the same battery area. More dense energetically, resulting in either smaller batteries same power, or more power inside the same battery size. Electrogravitic bullet and launch barrel. The launcher cylinder has inside inserted a Tesla coil that we can apply power to. The bullet is where the magic happens. The bullet shape is covered with tinfoil. Inside in the tip is a connection for the positive pole. Then the ion wind is pulled inside and outside the foil-plated bullet shape, all the way to the back negative pole, an aluminum ring. Then the circuit continues back inside into a little magnet, a capacitor, another little magnet and a mini Tesla coil up to the nose or tips connection point, completing the circuit. The circuit of the bullet is powered from outside, by applying power on the guidance ring or Tesla coil inside the barrel. Once the power is applied from outside into the ring in turn powers the bullet's circuit. Will it begin to move forward by magnetic attraction combined with self-created electrogravitic ionic wind along the bullet's surface. An inner system or circuit could be added to have the bullet levitate during its flight, allowing much greater distances perhaps. The bullet creates its own propulsion and perhaps add extra lift if designed into it. An electromagnetically fired, self-propelling, and lifting projectile. The longer the barrel, the longer the path, the longer we can apply power to the projectile before it leaves the barrel. Once in the air, I hope the magnets and capacitor will continue to circulate their charge through the circuit, propelling it electrically during flight. Could even be radio controlled by the sniper or his sideman. One firing it and one steering it to its target. Controlling steering and adding lift if needed by activating the inner cylinder, providing electrogravitic lift inside the bullet. LRNZ and quadro laser drive. One center rotation platform, an axle I power and turn with laser light, generating rotation, performing work. 4 lasers all placed under their own angle of insider, shine straight into the drive. The laser meets a widening or diffusing lens, and finally plastic cone, plated inside with tin foil. The concept will make the laser light bounce around and reflect inside the plastic filled up cones, actually using more light for creating heat there locally and therefore pressure or controlled expansion, and in turn creates a rotation for the center axle which we can use for other ends. The principle is based on a Crookes radio tube. This is an evolution on the same concept. We can expand the amount of lasers and receptors size and or using more angles of incidence. We can make the laser light stronger by having it move through a plastic cylinder filled with little focusing lenses. The stronger the lasers, the more heat and pressure, the faster the rotation of the drive. We can even stack lasers on top and stack receptors on top of each other. When would a laser drive have as an advantage besides it being created electrically? Now I need to find a way to use the sun's light, guiding the sun into the drive from 4 or 8 sides, creating an octo laser drive. Sun is free, and once you have the lenses and the casing, the sun keeps on coming. I need a sun tracker perhaps, and a way to guide and bend the sunlight, perhaps glass fiber cables and a disc capturing the sun, dividing it over 4 or 8 entrances to the drive. We need a solar drive, think Dennis. Okay, got it? Same exact principle as an eyeball. Place a diffusing lens onto a reflective cup, then fiber nerves cables capturing the reflective bouncing light from inside the cup, transporting it in bundles, feeding the drive with focused solar power. My entire drone is made of 2 lenses. If I fit the lower cup lens with fiber cables and redirect the light back to the drive, I can fly on free solar power, all day. Follow the sun and you will be able to remain in the air, for free. The glass dome shapes also are protection by internal reflection, against incoming laser attacks by absorption of the energy, bending it internally of its walls and using it to power my solar drive. Now, to make a model again. A rotor mirror ring internally reflective, foil, gold, or silver, filled with light focusing lenses, focusing the laser light, and keeping the beam internally reflected, no photons pushing power wasted, used many times, as the light is kept circulating inside the ring's mirror, passing through lenses, creating heat and pressure by light. The light keeps circling and pushing the lenses, creating rotation for the center axis, the laser or solar drive. This is probably going to work. I'm thinking 32 lenses or so. I might be able to model holder notches. Also, the outer feeding lasers can be aimed and angles inward a little, giving the light a head start. Wow. How to get gold foil inside a plastic ring? Making it from real gold would be nice. It has reflective properties and good mass. Also, it can hold heat. But would be hard to fit lenses inside of it exactly places. Maybe if info a little larger, Larger cylinder, 2 parts printed, cover gold foil inside and fit larger lenses. How to get many of the exact same lenses. If I make the lens shapes electrogravitic lifter cups, placed in a circle, I can apply power to a Tesla coil inside the ring or torus shape. Now every cup is an electrogravitic thruster, turning the center wheel. Magnet, Tesla coil, cup, aluminum ring. Wow! It should work both ways, or even together, same shapes. If I place 4 masses on the central arm, that can move inward and outward, like on a metronome, then I can make the start up easy when the mass is located inward, then later move the masses more outward, generating more outward pressure, changing gears, sort of speak. I want to teach the world to fly. I want to fly my bicycle. I want to fly my bike. Be free in your temple. Be free. Be free. The sphere is mind prison. The plane below could be as the heavens above. It up to us, man. It's up to ourselves. People been waiting for 2,000 years to get saved. One God. One love. One up.